Hello and welcome back to the Reaper. So we've got another tactical debrief and a big one today. Last night was the final attack against the Israeli port. We've tried this mission 3 times. Now, finally got it on the 3rd try. Really difficult mission. Doesn't look that hard on paper, but it's just really difficult for some reason. So we had a whole, but I'm not going to go through all the groups because there was a lot of us, about 25 of us, about half of us were cap. So just to tell you the rough idea of the mission, we have to attack this port here that's defended by 12 modern Fox 3 firing Israeli-driven fighters. So our plan was to take 3 groups of cap, one to this area here, one to this area here, one to this area here, which are out of the radar range of the Israeli fighters. Then when we're at our stations, I would call in to attack. We would all attack in a 3-pronged pincer and do as much damage as we could. So, I haven't looked at this yet, so I don't really know what's going to happen apart from what happened just me. So, we are going to set it going as we take off. And the first thing we're going to do is fly towards our 3 points. So, I shall skip to when we get there. Right, so we've reached our points. You've got, who were we? We were Anvil here, 4 F-15s, that's Cap's group. We were ESF, 3 Su-33s here, with this guy who turned up late, but he's on his way. And Blade, who were 2 Mirage 2000s and Tail and an Su-27. So I'm going to just fast forward that. And you can see the first thing we'll do is just have a general overview of what happened roughly. And then we'll go and look at the individual flights because there's going to be so much going on. So we can see that 4 fighters were attracted by Anvil. So that's a good start because Anvil is the biggest, strongest group here, obviously. And we've got a lovely spread. If we see that, first of all, it looks like ESF have taken a while to get into the game. They're not really moved anywhere yet. These guys are coming in fairly slowly. But Anvil doing a great job. We've got a perfect 1-mile battle spread there in an elongated finger 4. Really good flying by these guys today, so happy about that. We've attracted 1, 2, 3, 4 fighters, and the other 4 are going for these dudes. And there are some F-18s here that come in as well, 4 F-18s. Luckily, they're a little further out. So let's just run that through. Just going to get a rough idea, first of all, of what happened, and then we can go and look at the flights. So Anvil engaged. 2 of Anvil's fighters got distracted. First mistake. Right. So, we've got our seed guys here. Su-25s, Sherman and Sly. Now, obviously some misunderstanding here. They were supposed to hold back here at their point and wait until the fighters had fully engaged, but instead it looks like there's a misunderstanding and they came in at the same time as the fighters. The idea was, obviously, we wanted to have these fighters our fighters fully into the centre, surround the enemies and fight them, and then these guys would come in. But it looks like they're coming a little bit early, and they did, I believe, get shot down because of it. So that's one thing. Let's carry on. Very unaggressive flying from ESF here. Obviously, we were tasked to attack the baddies, but they're still a good 40, 50 miles away, so I'm not sure what happened to these 3 guys. Engagement by Anvil, but most of Anvil guys have decided to go for Sherman and the Seed as they're programmed to, essentially, because the Seed guys are the most dangerous here to the port. So, yeah, well, missiles out for the Seed. Bloody ESF are flying the wrong way now. That's disappointing. They should be in here helping us. And that is pretty much the Seed dead. So poor old Mirages and Seed have been left alone to fend themselves because they didn't have any ESF support. Anvil still doing their thing. Okay, that's all I need to see for now. So what I saw was Anvil came in aggressively, got their attack, but most of the Anvil aggressors went for Seed. Now, so the Seed didn't quite do the job right. They came in at the wrong time and got themselves shot down because of it. However, because of that, 3 Red fighters went for the Seed, and because of that, the Seed getting shot down probably saved the day. Because if with ESF here not doing anything, the if those seed guys didn't come in and distract those red fighters would have swarmed the mirages and killed the mirages. So we can say it was a brave sacrifice by Sherman and the seed guys to come and do that. So it worked out quite well. Right, so let's go back. Now we've had an idea of what's going on. We're going to go back and look at them group by group, see what was done well and what wasn't done well. So we'll start with Anvil, because they look pretty sweet. So stand by as we're going to set that up. Right, so looking at Anvil first. Beautiful 1 mile spread, absolutely perfect. We were split into two elements. We've got lead element here, this guy and this guy. That's Alpha, Cap and Tender, and Signora and Cadron were Bravo. The idea was we were going to do a rolling static to defensive chainsaw. So that means Alpha we're going to attack first, Bravo would come in second, and we'd have a covering chainsaw set up in place. And the idea is we were going to be static or slightly defensive, but hopefully not offensive, because we didn't want to get ourselves stuck in the middle of this in a big dogfight. So, first things first. So, we've got Cap, 15 miles. I'm on a nice 40 degree crank at 700 knots. That's perfect flying. Can't do any better than that. It makes me essentially invincible to this guy here. Tender appears to have lost awareness here. Tender should obviously be going for the aggressive element, which is here. But he's splayed off 10 degrees to the left, and I think he's chasing this flanking guy. I'm going to be careful to do that. You've really got to follow your lead element leader in this, because if you split off, you're going to go for a different target at a different range, and the chainsaw will break down. So that is an error there. We'll see how that'll develop. These two guys are good. They're staying together. So Cap, as we all know, at Angels 20, optimal firing range is 10 miles. We're slightly below Angels 20 here. It's a bit disappointing for me. So 9 miles, 9.5 miles should be a good kill shot on this guy. Now you can see he's already fired at me 10 miles. So that's just slightly outside parameters. However, he is 750 knots true. So he's got a speed advantage on me. So let's see how I react to this. Missiles out. Now, when an AMRAAM is out like this, you've got to act extremely fast and extremely aggressively. So, first of all, my shot was perfect, 9.1 miles. Couldn't be any more perfect than that. And my aircraft, when firing it, was in a static roll position. So that I'm not going to add any yaw difficulties to that missile. So that was a good shot. And I'm nearly 700 knots, so that's good. However, I've got an AMRAAM coming to me. AMRAAMs, they're good missiles. They're difficult to beat. As long as you fly properly, you will beat them every time. But so what we're going to see now is me spot that missile, either by eye or by radar signature. And I'm going to want to pull a big kind of inverted 9G split S pull to beat that missile, maybe with some chaff countermeasures as well. See, Tender's still off for the wrong target, so he's going to get himself, he's going to get the group in trouble. So, yep, so my missile's out. I'm flicking over straight away. I can't lose any time as this missile gets up to 2,000 knots, almost 2,000 knots already. And let's watch me go now. I'm up, yep, already, look at that. Huge pull, 10G. I've launched another missile, which I think was just another generic target somewhere over here. It's just a waste of a missile, obviously. I probably shouldn't have fired that. But it's something at least. Yeah, perfect turn, 10G. Keeping the speed up, 600 knots. And that is how you're going to beat an AMRAAM. That's how you beat an AMRAAM. Over 600 knots. Up to 9G. And look how, I mean, that's a fast 2,000 knot missile. And look how I'm good 3 miles ahead of it. I'll do a little bit of jinking and wiggling now just to make sure I've got rid of it. But that's very good flying. I'm happy about that. The other guy, the red guy, he has dodged, but not very well. I mean, he's gone fast. He's kept his speed up high. That's good. And he's done a dive. He's only done 90-degree turns. 90-degree turns, I think, are a waste of time. You've really got to do a 180 and rely on your cover from your teammates. So he could still be hit by this. Turn it into the missile. And splash one to Cap. That's perfect flying there, if I don't say so myself. Right, so what's going to happen now is Cap's going to head out for about 10 miles. I'm going to be relying on the cover of these two guys. I'm not sure why they're turning around, but they are. They're supposed to be covering me as I turn out. So they've had a bit of a moment there. Luckily for them, the fighters have all gone for Sherman, who was the punch bag for today. So, it's good stuff there. Cap's heading out. We know about that. So I'm going to be burners on 700 knots. This is not time to save fuel. This is a time to get safe. So that's perfect. Tender, again, so just to reiterate here, you've got to stay with your wingman. So at this point here, I said I was turning cold. So Tender has to turn cold within a few seconds of me. He can't just fly off and fly his own game. If you want to do that, go and fly on a public server. Don't fly with the Reapers. We fly in groups, and it's group communication. So as soon as I turn cold, Tender either takes his shot for the next few seconds or turns cold. You can't just fly off. You'll rip the group to pieces, which is what's happened now. Right, so let's carry on. So I did hit this guy, but it looks like it's still in the game, fortunately. Tender's going for one of these flanking guys. Cap's on a lovely... Look at that. You can always tell a pilot knows what he's doing when he flies in straight lines. I've noticed this. You just notice the good pilots always go in a straight line because they know exactly where they want to go at any time. It's the guys that constantly change direction are the guys that don't really know what they're doing, and therefore they're changing direction and changing their mind. So you look at nice aggressive ins and nice aggressive outs. Those are the guys that will survive and do well. These guys are still a bit all over the place. I think they're finally coming into combat now. The vector is bad. Our aggressing, when we're doing a chainsaw, we always have to aggress on the same vector or nearly the same vector. We can't splay off 90 degrees and just start fighting over here. That's wrong. So that needs correcting, and I will discipline these two. Right, Tender, he shouldn't be here. He's got no reason to be here, but he's still chasing this guy down. There's a good chance he's going to get himself in trouble here because he's broken the chainsaw. He's off on his own on a rogue target fixation mission. There's a good chance he could get shot by this guy, although it looks like this guy's an engine out, so he's quite lucky there. I mean, he's just going to chase this guy forever. He's not going to catch him up at 700 knots. It's just purely wasting time here. And he's lucky if he had more red elements here, they would come and flank him and kill him. Speed that up. Still chasing him. What the hell is going on? Yeah, this guy will need disciplining. See, he's supposed to be back here with Cap, so we can get Chainsaw going. Can't just charge away like this. And he's achieved absolutely nothing apart from wasting time. Right, these guys here are... Luckily, two F-15s went for the Seed guys. Obviously, the Seed guys are going to get wiped to pieces, and they did, of course. But it helped the rest of the flight out amazingly, so if that didn't happen, we probably wouldn't have won this. Right, Tender's finally realised he's fucked up, and he's off now. On the plus side, these guys seem to have got their stuff together. I mean, they're kind of... they should really be fighting this direction. There's no reason to splay off like this. It's going to start getting a bit messy, I think. And because they've splayed off like this, they've lost complete situational awareness, this Bravo pair, and they've lost this guy here. So we came in like this, and these Bravo pair are on their hot leg now. They should be going exactly the same direction that we went to pick up stuff just like this. So these guys now, they've lost situational awareness, this guy. There's a good chance they're going to get shot now. So that's disappointing. Right, so this guy is going to have a nice pop at this guy now. Speed that up. Okay, on the plus side, Signora has taken a long shot. It's obviously not a kill shot, it's just a warning shot. And at least he's getting out now. At least he's doing his job. Cadron, if he's got any sense, he's going to follow Signora. You've got to stick with your wingman. You can't just fly your own fight. I don't think this guy's in the game, luckily, the red guy. Right, speed that up. Signore had an AMRAAM shot at him by a long-range guy. It was never any threat, so we weren't worried too much about that. Yeah, this guy looks like he's out of the game. Got an F-16 coming in now. So we've made a huge... Anvil made a huge meal. We've only had two guys to fight, this guy and that guy. Huge mistakes by these three guys. Turned it into a massive fight for no reason. Right, on the plus side, these guys are out now. I guess these guys are now a triple, and I'm on my own, so I'm coming in now. Looking for targets. I've got perfect situational awareness because I went out, I came in the right vector. I've seen my target. I'm now cranking 40 degrees to the right. That's perfect. Exactly how you want to be. It makes me essentially invincible to this guy here. If you want more information on cranking and its uses, then look at the video that I've done in the educational section of 700 knots, exactly where I want to be. 12 miles now on a hot target. So that's at Angels. He's low. I'm high. That's an average of about Angels 10. So the kill range on a hot target here is going to be much less. It's going to be kind of 7.5, 8 miles, 7.5 miles, something like that. So when I'm doing my crank here, I'm computing that. I'm thinking, right, I'm going to fire at about 7 miles, something like that. Less if I get the chance. So I've cancelled the crank slightly later than usual. I'm cancelling the crank at 11.5 miles. And it's going to give me 3 miles, 4 miles to get the shot in. Tender's finally got back with cap, so at least he's regained some awareness at last. F-16's on the crank to cap, so I've got to factor that in on my shot. I may have to lose even more distance. Maybe I'll go all the way down to 6.5 miles, 6 miles for the shot. So all the time when you're doing this, you're computing everything in your mind. You're computing. There is a tool on your HUD which does this for you. On your aircraft, it gives you ideal shot distances. Don't use it; it's rubbish. Use your brain. A human is infinitely better than a computer at factoring in these kind of things. I don't know why. So I'm 750 true. He's 600 true. We're about a 30-degree differential here. He's Angels 6. I'm Angels 12. That's an average of Angels 8. So it's going to be about 6.5 mile shot, something like that. And so that's all I'm thinking about when I'm coming in, basically. And I'm also looking, is he aggressing on me? Is he a danger to me? I can see he's not a danger to me. He's now about 35 degrees off my vector. That means he can't fire at me. So I can see by his vector shown on my radar that I'm safe to go in a bit closer. The closer I can get, the better shot I can get. So this is all good. Tender is heading off this way. Tender's seen the F-18s. So he's coming in to cover me for the F-18s now. That's fine. These guys have turned around. Again, they've gone off vector. Remember, this was our attack vector here. These guys are now 20 miles north, which means they're not going to be able to cover us, so they're not doing their job. And if you're saying, oh, they're going to save the seed. Saving the seed is not our job. That was these guys who were looking after the seed. Got to stick to your job, stick together. Otherwise, it all breaks down. Anyway, right. Cap's shooting at 5 miles. I figured it was safe to be shooting at 5 miles with him on the crank. And it probably will turn out to be a good kill. That is well within kill parameters. F-16 is on a good 70 turn there. But he is burning off his speed. Is now down to 400 true. He's going to struggle to beat this missile. Very good missile. Splash banded down. And just as he was dying, I was putting in a kill shot at 2.5 miles with a Fox 2, which is perfectly legal. That's fine. And as soon as that's done, don't be complacent. There's nothing worse than seeing complacent pilots. You've got to fly 100% all of the time. What we're going to do is we're going to scan around these other guys later. We're going to see the complacent guys who don't turn 9G and don't go full afterburner. They'll all die every time. They won't listen to my debrief. They'll think they know better, but they'll die every time. So even if you've killed this guy and you don't think you're in any threat, and I'm not in any threat, I've got no radar warnings or anything, don't be complacent. Fly 100%. And look, I'm turning. I'm 8G. I don't need to do that, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to do 700 knot 8G turn to make sure I'm completely safe. And it keeps me safe. It means I can't die. Do it. Right, Tender is... these guys are aggressing now. Again, I'm pretty sure they're going to come in at the wrong angle. I'm pretty sure they're going to be fighting over here, so they're no use. Tender is aggressing on these guys. Again, he shouldn't be just charging off on his own. His job is to sit with his element lead. That's how the rolling chainsaw works. It's not to charge off on his own. I get the feeling he's about to do that. Let's speed it up. It's 30 miles away. And he's done it again. He's charged off on his own. On the plus side, Cadron signal, at least they're back on vector now, so they can cover us. Okay, he's decided to turn around. I've probably started shouting at him at this point, telling him to stop fucking off on his own. So he's now up and hopefully do his job, come back to cap. Meanwhile, these two, beautiful flying in that they're both in a pair. They've done their job. They've stuck as a pair. They're looking at each other through their window. That's their job. They're coming back on the overlap. They're back on the fighting vector. They are now part of the team again. So that's good. They've got themselves back. They're going to cover Tender as he comes out because these F-18s are not anything to mess with. So we've now got 4 F-15s versus 4 F-18s. fair match. Right, Signore, lead element. About to be in a world of pain by the looks of things. So, Signore is heading for this lead F-18. What's wrong with this picture? His speed is good, his altitude is good. What's wrong with his angle? He's not cranking. He's being lazy, he's not flying properly. You've got to crank or you will die. Or at the very least be ineffective. So let's see. It's fired a missile, it's no good, it's 12 miles, it's not going to kill anything. Fired another missile. Dangerous. I mean, it's good that he's firing a missile at 10 miles. That is good. That is actually a kill shot. So that's good. But he's got missile warning coming towards him. I would have much preferred to have seen him just do the crank so the hostile couldn't even fire at him. Then turn in and do the shot at 10 miles. So he might just jam his way out of this. We'll see. And is also playing with death as well. He's getting a warning from the same 120 Pitbull. He should be turning out on a 9G turnout a few seconds ago. He's not aggressive enough. It's not aggressive enough. Okay, he's done that. He's beaten that. That's good. I think he factored in that that missile was fired at him 13 or 14 miles away, so he knew he wasn't in any massive danger. And I think that's why he could have allowed himself to wait so long and go for that secondary shot. So that is acceptable. So we'll let him off that. He's not quite up to 9G. I like to see 9G, so it's a little bit lazy. But at least it's over 600 knots. And he was always going to beat that missile. Lots of wiggling. Don't wiggle. Remember, in, out, in, out. No need for all this wiggling nonsense. Oh, we got him. Did he get him? Don't know. Yes. Okay. That was a good show. So that second one, I mean, the Hornet wasn't dodging. He was just flying his own 400 knots at no G. No, sorry, it's the wrong guy. Oh, he shot two guys. Right, okay, understood. He was shooting at two guys. I mean, that's a pretty good move, really. Even if the first one wasn't a kill, it sends him defensive. And the second one was a kill. Something's going wrong here, sorry. This guy is dying for some reason. I don't know why, this Hornet. There, this guy's died. Even though the missile's nowhere near him. I don't know. Something weird happened there. I don't know exactly what happened there. But it thinks the missile was a kill. So that's good. If that was a kill, then that's good. And this guy almost got hit. Terrible dodging from these Hornets. Really, really bad fighting. Must be something to do with the intelligence they've got. So that is that. So well for Signore. I don't like this wiggling diving nonsense here. I'd much prefer him to see just turn, burners on, 700 knots out here. Much better than wiggling around and beating the missile. But he got back on his vector. It's good. Some criticism there. He should have been cranking. He knows he should have been cranking. But he just about got away with it. Cadron, good flying here. Look, he's not charging in like Tender to try and get his kill. He's going defensive with Signore. They're talking to each other. They're doing their job. So these two, they're doing a really good job. There were some difficulties earlier on, but well done. Right, next. It's Cap's turn to go wrong. So, I'm heading on my hot leg. These guys are telling, remember this, these guys are telling me to head this way to cover them, which is what I should do. Should be doing that job. However, I got target fixation on this guy who was hunting Zoidberg. So I'm not helping my buddies here. So that's the wrong thing to do. And they're getting plastered by all these AMRAAMs. So, that's a mistake there. Tender's flying a bit slow. He's saving gas. I don't like that. He should be getting out faster than that. These guys are crossing each other, but I think they're okay. I think they know what each other's doing. Cap's still going for this guy. So it looks like we're going to have to follow this. Okay, so I'm hot. I'm fast. He's really fast. I want to get my crank on here. There we can see it. Beautiful 40-degree left crank going on there. Makes me invulnerable. This guy can fire out to me all he likes. It's not going to help when I'm cranking this aggressively. So he's got a a big shot, 840 shot, not AIM-120C. That's about the best shot you can get with anything. That's a really powerful shot. So that's going to get a real big speed, that is. Let's see how we do. I've got my crank on, so I think I'm happy we're going to beat it. Cancel the crank at 11 miles. Let's analyse the height. Angels 16, Angels 15. That's an Angels, average Angels to say 16. So that's a kill shot of 9.5 miles, something like that. So I've got to turn in now. I'm getting a warning from this, so I've got to now balance between dodging this missile and firing mine at about 9.5 miles. Let's see how it goes. I'm fast. I'm 700 knots. That's good enough. And 8.5 miles. So I've computed that in my head. 8.5 miles. That's a little bit. That's a little bit shy. I could have 9 miles or 9.5 miles. I could have got away with really at these altitudes. So I've left it a little bit long, but I'm okay. So now I've got to go super aggressive to beat this missile. So let's see Cap do a good move here. I missile out, and look at that, 11G, controlling 11G. That's how you've got to do it. Absolute commitment to beat these missiles. And let's not see any tossing about. Let's get cold 180 and then do what we have to do to beat it after the turn. And then maintaining 8G after that, doing the dive, 650 knots, absolute perfection. And look, it was a huge missile, but it never got near me. My missile's much better. There's a good chance that my missile's going to be a kill. And I'm out on a lovely path there. Look at that. Lovely aggressive. No pissing about, no wiggling about to just upset my airfoil. I'm just doing perfect. Countermeasures all the way around. The correct type of countermeasures. Pretty much perfect. And my shot should kill this guy. He's doing big turn. He's up to 9G there, so he's doing what he needs to do to get away from it. But the shot was in parameters. It was a good shot, and he's down. Kill 2 goes to Cap. Right now I do still have a 120 Charlie on me, so I'm going to have to do things. So I've made a bit of an error there. So I've come in here. I should have come out on a 180 degree like that. I've turned 90 degrees too much, and I made it into a 270 degree turn. So I've got to correct the error. Plus, I'm still getting warnings from this missile. So let's see big speed, let's see big G and big angle to beat this thing. Now I'm out of the turn. 9G. Exactly how it should be. I should always be on the edge of passing out. If you're not on the edge of passing out, you're not dodging the missile right. 7G. 700 knots. And I'm doing way more than I need to do to beat this. I'm just making extra sure because I don't really know where that missile is. But nothing can catch this 700 knot at 9G. Perfect 9G again. Making absolutely sure nothing can get me. And then, engines off. I'm happy, I'm safe. Mission complete. Well done. Let's just scroll back and see what happened to the boys. It looks like they're getting... And here's why you can't just doodle out of combat low thrust trying to save gas. Tender fucking up again. He's about to get himself shot again. Let's go and have a look. Although technically it's my fault. I shouldn't have been engaging this guy in the first place. I should have been engaging my guy. But here is a good example of why you can't piss around at 400 knots in combat. Because you're going to have guys coming. Look at that guy coming in at 1,000 knots. Saving fuel is the absolute last thing you can do in combat if you want to live. And a big long bomb from someone. Right, so this guy is chasing Tender, we think. So it's pummeling missiles on him. They're all stupid missiles, 20 miles or something. Tender still pissing around at 400 knots trying to save gas. These guys, they're going fast. They're heading out of combat, but they're going fast. That's what you've got to do. Tender heading into combat, 400 knots. No, he's not. I'm not sure what he's doing. I think he's coming to help me out on my guy. Cadron being a dickhead. What's he doing? He's just spinning around in circles. Absolute worst thing you can do. Spin around in circles at low speed. So he's completely lost the plot at this point. He said, I'm going to turn my engines off and spin around in circles and see how that works for me. He should be fast, burners on with his wingman, not pissing about. He's lucky people aren't shooting at him. Those F-18s, they're just flying really badly today for some reason. In fact, the F-18s always seem to fly badly. I don't know why. I think they might be bugged. They should have come in and killed this guy. Anyway, let's carry on. Well, Tender's got a world of pain. He hasn't realised this guy's on him, and he's coming in at 1,000 knots. Hopefully he's out of missiles, because he's within kill parameters right now. He's definitely within kill parameters now. What's he going to do? What's Tender doing? Tender's really lost the plot. It really gets dangerous when you've got a chainsaw going this way. This is our job, is to go this way and this way and this way and this way. It's all our job is. And you know it's going to get dangerous when A, you've got a guy spinning around in circles, this guy, and another guy going the absolute opposite way to the chainsaw, going up and down the chainsaw like that. You know he's going to get hit from the side. You know this guy's going to get hit. So, you two watch and learn. What the hell is this guy doing now? Okay, he's decided he doesn't want to play anymore. He's going to go off and fight F-18s on his own. Bad. Don't do that. Stick with your wingman. Be in the group. Tender's realised that this guy's on him now. 3 miles. This guy's obviously out of missiles, because otherwise Tender would be dead by now. This guy's 700 knots. Tender slowly starting to speed up. He's realised he's got himself in trouble. This guy's air brakes on and slowing down. And he's turning off. So, that was weird. Don't know. Tender's very lucky to be alive. He made a bad mistake. Right, so this guy he's gone in and he's fought the F-18. Crap missile, so the guy's beaten it. He should be looking out for... And look, Signori's got himself in a fight now. It's not really Signori's fight. It's her fault. It's because no one was covering him when this guy came in. The chainsaw's completely out of whack, basically. But one thing to say, this guy's supposed to be the Signore looking after him. Instead, he's out there trying to get his own kill. Very bad. And Signore is now getting shot at from 2 miles away. So, Cadron, very bad flying there. You've got to look after your wingman, same as Tender. It's aim 9. That's a dead Signore. Hit. Lucky to be alive. Again, not really Signore's fault, Cadron's fault. Cadron's still going the wrong way. Got to learn to fly in the group. Can't just spaz around on your own. It's not fair on your wingman. Signore, now, dogfight. I think he realises it's a dogfight. He's just been hit. So, against an F-15. First thing he's got to do is call that he's in a dogfight. Get his buddies around here to come and help him. Then, secondly, he's got to worry about staying alive. Thirdly, he's got to worry about killing this guy. Merge. Good speed from Signore. Speed is life in a combat, and this guy is losing it. Although this guy is technically on Signore 6, a lot more energy in this bird here. With all that energy, we can do turns and stuff. Cadron's still completely out of the fight. This guy has a solution. Yep, I was wrong. This guy's got a good solution. And he's got perfect vector. This guy should have taken the shot. Signore should be dead. I get the feeling this guy is out of missiles. So it's guns, guns, guns only. So Signore is just trying to stay alive. And he's doing the right thing, really. He's keeping his speed high. I mean, he could have gone evasive and jinked around more to keep this guy off his back. But he just would have burnt his speed off. And he probably would have died anyway, so... The only slight error here is he's taking away... Look, he's called Cap and Tender in. Cap and Tender are coming in. But he's taking them away from us. We can't catch him up like this. And this guy's got speed back. So this guy's just waiting to get within 1,000 feet to get guns, guns, guns. Tender's in a 9G pull. That's good. Ah, he's disengaged. Hostile is disengaged. Okay, it's lucky it was an AI guy. A human wouldn't have disengaged. Right. So, Signore can get on the offensive, and he's immediately turned on the offensive. It's good to see. A couple of miles behind. Spotting him. Got to start pummeling missiles in now. His vector's bad. He can't see him. And turning in and sees him. On vector, see a Fox 2. So he's Fox 2. Exactly the same time that Cap had Fox 3. It's a very risky move of me to put Fox 3 in here with a guy close, friend close. But I thought Signore was in front, and I thought Signore was about to die, so it seemed a prudent thing to do at the time. As long as I can keep a lock on the hostile. Cobra from this guy, 9G. It's not going to be enough to beat an AIM-9. And he's out. No, he's not out. And my missile has gone, because this guy is technically been blown up, my missile has gone pitbull and it's now going for Signore. You want to know why it does that? Look at my video on Fox 3 pitbulls and friendly fire in the educational section. So Signore is now getting a radar warning, so he's got to go defensive. He can beat this missile. He's got to turn around 9G countermeasures and he'll beat this missile okay. He pulled too hard, he's passed out. He'd beaten the missile well already. So he's young, is enthusiastic, and young and enthusiastic often means pulling the stick back too far and blacking out. He's done that quite a lot recently. So it's unfortunate, but it happens. Cadron still no idea what he's doing. He's just wasting everyone's time. Tender finally gets back with Cap, back in the game. So we're down to a 2-man chainsaw. We started off 4, now we're down to 2. I think we've killed 3 guys between us so far. Tender has lost a situation. No, he hasn't. He's seen this guy. Got to be careful with these belly shooters. So it's a pretty good little team going on here, because this Tender's going for the conning guy. That's fair enough. It's easy to shoot down conning guys. Main problem with Tender is he's slow. Very dangerous flying this slow in combat. It's going to get himself shot. Cap is covering him though. I'm covering him for the belly shooter, which is this guy. So I'm going to try and analyse this all at once. So here's see Tender shot first. 6 miles at a high guy. That is pretty much 100% kill. This guy's up high and he's slow. There's very little he can do with that to beat this missile. Almost certainly a kill. Bit disappointed that Tender didn't turn out. Fire your missile, turn out. Don't chase him into oblivion. Another missile. Turn out. If you do your maths correctly, you can fire your missile and just run a turnout with absolute 100% knowledge that it will kill the guy. If a guy carries on chasing him, then that means he's not sure if it's going to kill him or not. Do the work beforehand. Do the maths beforehand. Fire the missile and get out. And you just know the guy will die. But otherwise, good kill. I was very lucky, obviously, that Cap was here to distract this guy. So let's go back and have a look at Cap's fight. So, Cap is turning into cover. Let me try that again. Cap is turning into cover Tender. 10 miles. I've lost situational awareness. I'm not aware of this guy. Turning in. Now I've seen this guy. I'm setting myself up for a shot. Pause there. Setting myself up for a shot. But at 7 miles, he's fired an AIM 120 Bravo. It's a nasty missile. 7 miles. It's, where are we? Angels 4, Angels 5. That is a kill shot on Cap. So I've got to do hard work to beat that missile. It's a good missile. And then he's got out. So there's a good example of fire the missile and get out. Don't just chase the guy. You're exposing yourself to huge danger. So let's see what Cap does to beat this missile. I'm late, a little late doing the turn. So I'm going to have to work extra hard now to beat this missile. I should have snap rolled immediately and started turning. And I'm also low, which means I can't dive down to get extra speed. And we're looking at danger now. We're looking at 3 miles on 1500 knot missile. However, I'm doing the turn. I've got slight inversion and I'm 8G. And it's enough. It's a good enough turn. It wasn't perfect, but it was good enough. And I never went below 650 knots. Good speed, good G. I can beat that missile. Alpha, well within limits. And it never got within a mile or so. So now I've done my turn. It was a good turn. Again, I did a 270 degree turn. So turning a little bit too much for some reason. But that's probably because the angle that the missile was coming in at. Now I'm going to do some heavy evasive once I'm out of my turn to make sure I beat this missile. Let's watch the heavy evasive. Reversal right. 700 knots. 9G. 9.5G. Almost blacking out. Not being lazy. Left, 9G, 700 knots, almost blacking out. Right, 8.5G, 700 knots. Left, 10, 11G, almost blacking out, 700 knots. Right, and relax. That's how you beat a missile. Right, Tender turned down here, this guy turned up here. Lucky they both kind of lost a situation where it's bad move from Tender. He should have come up here, he knows how to fly. Come up here, fire the missile, then turn round. Don't turn 90 degrees and then kind of warble off. Bad. Kadron even worse, still tossing around doing nothing. These two completely lost each other here. Why this guy? He's got to come out. He knows he has to come out. He's going to get himself in a dogfight here. And he's off engines. Okay, I think what he's doing, I think he's decided to RTB here. But he's doing it wrong. He's going straight from danger zone here to RTB. You've got to do it. You've got to do what Cap's doing. You've got to come out of combat first. You have to do the egress to safety, then go to RTB. If you go RTB, but just in the middle of a fight, the guys are just going to follow you and shoot you. And he's lucky to be alive already, to be honest. He's got this guy bearing down on him. Speed that up and have a look. He's very lucky, and he's got missiles after it. No, Kadron has. Yeah, and he got hit, and rightly so. Rightly so. He made a mistake there. You can't turn out of combat and go straight to base. He's going slow. I imagine he's out of gas by now. It's been a long fight. He's done lots of charging in that he didn't need to do. So it's his own fault for running out of gas. Aim 120, and he is rightly shot. And he's very lucky to survive. So that was a bad move there. Now let's look at the difference. What Cap does. Cap comes... I'm out of gas as well. I come 20 miles out of combat. And then go. And that means these guys can't pick me up because I'm on the deck. I'm within the trees. Can't just fly out of combat. Bad, bad, bad. Kadron still plebbing around. I think he does actually kill someone though, so we'll give him that. Tender's still getting chased. Actually, I think Kadron did just kill someone. He did. So Kadron, nice, good, gets a kill. I shouldn't have been here. Should have been playing as a team, protecting Cap, protecting Tender. Tender should never have got shot. This guy was doing his job. Aim on shot. That's a good shot on an Angel's 15. Is just within kill and is dodging very badly. It's F-18 and he's the F-15 is dodging well. Good turn. Good countermeasures and the correct countermeasures. 180 degree turn over 600 knots. Good missile fighting. And he's still putting nearly 9G turns in. Good. He's been watching Cap. 10G. No, sorry. Looking at the alpha. This guy just ran straight into his missile at the end of the day. So, yep. Okay, fair enough. And that is it from Anvil. Tender just took another hit, but somehow is still alive. Everyone else is dead, pretty much, or RTB. Let's scroll forward now. Tender still getting fired on. Again, it's his own fault. Zoidberg coming to save the day. Good job, Zoidberg. Although he doesn't. He just turns away. That was weird. Not sure why he did that. Tender's dodging this missile just 300 knots. Ooh. Just, you got enough angles, good angles in there. This guy probably out of missiles, otherwise Zoidberg should be dead by now. I'm going to run that forward. This guy loses interest in Zoidberg for some reason. I think he must be guns, guns, guns. Okay, Drecki comes out, but somehow doesn't see this guy. Tender's coming to land, 200 knots, he's out of engines. Oh, hello, what happens here? Cap's here to save the day. Kill number 3. It was a guy that I was chasing. That was just weird fighting at the end there. Everyone was out of gas and missiles, essentially. Cap's fully out of gas now. I'm on 0 engines, so I've got to come in. There's the runway. Skadrecki lands. Tender's crashed. He just ran out of gas. It's too early, I guess. It's a shame. Yeah, I guess. So he probably didn't have enough fuel to go out like that and then come back in. It sounds like he was out of gas, completely out of gas. Again, it really is his own fault for just kept shooting off for 20 miles at a time on his own. Can't do that. Cap, completely out of gas, and I got down. Just very lucky. Another half mile, I wouldn't have made it. And then Zoidberg and Cadron land. So, summary, spent a long time doing that, but it all has to be done. Those lessons have to be learned. Pretty good. We had a mistake by Cap, lots of mistakes by the other guys. Signori, I think, one mistake, Cap, one mistake, Tender and Cadron, lots of mistakes. Also, some good fighting from everyone as well. And we did kill 4 guys there. That we needed to kill more, really, but that'll have to do. So, let's move on to the next team. Let's move on to ESF, because I'm curious at what these super pros are going to do. Stand by. Right, next we're on to ESF. They're coming in. They've got a nice kind of 2-mile spread. Decent energy, looking good. For some reason, they get this far, and then they turn back. And I can't realise. I mean, they must know that we're in combat and getting our asses kicked. Why would they turn back? I can only think they did it on purpose to stab us in the back or something, but it's a bit of a weird thing to do. So I don't know. I don't know what the reason for this is. There's no reason I can see. Now they're turning back in, and they're coming back in. But look, all this time we're dying. It's like, what are they doing? Right, first element, first sign of a scrap is Udorosa on this guy. Excuse me, I've done that wrong. There we go. 30 miles, so they're in danger now. It looks to me that these 2 guys have lost complete situational awareness. They're flying good. Angels 20, 600 knots. That's good. That's acceptable. Combat speed and height. And their radar does attenuate. Does see this guy, but for some reason they've just lost it, and they seem to be flying straight into him. Unless they're cranking. Maybe they're cranking on him. It's very weird. Whatever it is. Speed is good. No, they're not cranking. They've just lost situational awareness. They've not been looking on their radar screen. That's all it was. And this guy's coming in. He's taking a shot. 8 miles. Beautiful shot. 10 miles at this altitude is a kill shot with a AIM 120 Bravo. So this guy's got to do work now to beat this missile. No, sorry, it's going for him, isn't it? Let's try that again. Recoil is a little bit high for my liking. It's not the end of the world. Angels 25, but tactical fighter doesn't really want to go above 20. He's a little slow. No, he is too slow. 500 knots is too slow. He's cruising. For some reason he's cruising. And that plane's right in front of him. I don't know why he doesn't see him. That missile has now gone pitbull. It's within 8 miles. It's now given him a big warning, so he's got to dodge. He's got to go burners on. He can't keep saving fuel. It's not going to end well. He's not going to do it. Not going to do it. Big warnings all over his screen. Missile coming. You're going to die if you don't move. Going to die. He's not going to do it. Oh, finally. A very, very slow turn with military power. All that matters is saving fuel. 3G. He's going to beat a missile with 3G. Terrible flying. Everything wrong there. Right. First, coming in too slow. 500 knots on an ingress to fight. Way too slow. Second mistake. Flies into a fighter. Doesn't see him on his radar. Got to use your radar and look what's in front of you. That's what these fighters are designed for. So just ran straight into it. Thirdly, didn't listen to his radar warning. Big radar warnings going off all over the place that there's a missile coming. You have to dodge. You can't just fly into it. Thirdly, you have to dodge in time. So that as soon as you get that missile, you've got to dodge. Fifthly, you've got to turn aggressively. You can't turn in beautiful Cessna comfort at 3G and 500 knots. You will die. Even if you turned in time there, that AMRAAM will kill him every time because he's turning like such a pussy. You can't turn at 3G. You have to turn at 9G. You have to dive 600 or 700 knots and turn at 9G. Otherwise, you're going to die. And countermeasure. Way too slow. What's the point of countermeasuring the missiles here? Awful. I'm going to get too angry if I look at that anymore. Udorosa, just as bad. The guy just flies straight into him. What's going on? Just 2 miles away. Kills his buddy. No communication. Just blissfully unaware. He's not doing anything. There's nothing there for him to kill. Just. And we're now dogfight. It's not even a dogfight. It's a turkey shoot. And he's dead. Awful flying. You two know exactly what you did wrong. I'm not going to go into that. I'm just going to lose my temper again. Right, Skay. At least Skay has some sense. He's going in and going to kill some stuff. So let's go and have a look at that. So Skay's seen the target. These guys are finally coming. They're helping Seed, although the Seed was dead 10 minutes ago. We've got a target here. Start analysing this. Skay's coming in. Good speed, 550 knots. No, it's too slow. You want to be 600 knots, really, at least. Angel 16, that's okay. This guy's being an idiot, spinning around in circles. He's going to get himself shot. So he's down here flanking. So you're going to be within about 6 miles now to get a kill shot. Skay's got crank on the go. It's a pretty terrible crank. It's about 10 degrees. That was bad shooting. So he fired. He's aimed his aeroplane on that vector, but the missile has to go in front of him to go left to get in front of this guy. So that missile's got to do all that scrub and yaw work, which is going to kill that missile's energy. And so that's a bad shot. And it's a 11 miles anyway. And he should be computing in his head that was a 6 mile shot with a flanking low target. So that was a waste of a shot. I don't know what it was. I mean, you could argue it's a posturing shot to send this guy defensive. Well, he's already defensive. So why would you do that? It's just, there is no rhyme or reason to that shot. Turning on vector. Luckily, this guy's being a complete idiot. He's just going up and doing a stall. So it should be an easy kill. 300 knots. Yep, he's out of energy. Right, now we can close in and do some killing. We have a shot out. It's 8 miles, a bit more like it. It's still too slow. 570 knots. That flanker can go 700 knots, so it's too slow. This guy is just all over the place, flanking at 400 knots. That's very possibly a kill shot now. Again, he should have been aiming in front of him. Look how much work he's having to force that missile to do. Got to get on top of that. Bad flying from this. No, okay, he's getting back on it. 600 knots. Yeah, the F-15's finally getting. I think this was a lot of indecision. You can see all over the place. Changes of direction. All changes of direction. Usually, when you see a good pilot, you'll see his trace is just straight lines. Straight lines. He knows exactly what he wants to do. When you see weird things like this, you know it's a shit pilot. 6.5 miles. Can't fire yet. Let's do our maths. So we're up at Angels 14 hostiles down on the deck. So that is a maximum of 5 miles to kill that guy as long as he keeps going cold. But he's not. He's turning. And he's scrubbed his speed off. Oh, Skay, Drek is disengaged because this guy's firing. So that's well done, Skay. So he's going to beat this missile pretty easily because it was a long shot. Zoidberg's doing this, but let's worry about that later. Right, let's speed that up a little bit. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So Skay got engaged. He had a little scrabble with this guy here. Never really was threatening to kill him. Then was engaged by this guy and turned around, went away from the missile, full burn, exactly, and losing height. Exactly what you have to do. Good job, Skay. That's good flying. Now I want to see him turn around, back into combat. Exactly then. 10 miles. Perfect. Fly. And back he comes. He's been listening to Cap's debriefs. He needs to help Zoidberg out now. Zoidberg's in a world of pain with his F-15. No, where are we going? Where are we going? Here we go. Right. Okay. So he's still tangling with his F-15 here. Let's go back a bit. So, he's back in the fight. He's got an F-15. Oh, he's too fast here. Hang on. There we go. F-15 has fired an AMRAAM, a slow 470 knot AMRAAM at 9 miles with an average of Angels 10. That is slightly out of parameters, so Skay can dodge this relatively easily. Oh no, what's he doing? Don't get yourself killed. What's he doing? Awful turn. Should be 9G. Pull, back, out, back in. Not 3G messing around. What's this all about? I am aware that these flankers can't turn when they go above 600 knots, or their wings fall off. So maybe that's why he's had to ease off like that. We don't have to worry about that in the Eagle. We can turn as tight as we want, and the wings don't fall off. He's done what he needed to do. I would have liked to see it tighter, but he's done what he needed to do. And he kept his speed high, so it was acceptable. Another AMRAAM after him, but he's going 700 knots. He will beat this AMRAAM. Okay, let's speed that up. Yep, so it's good. Acceptable flying. He's out. Again, beautiful straight line. No cocking about. 700 knots. It's good flying. Let's see what he does next. So he's keeping himself alive, keeping his airframe alive, and we're back in again for another fight. In we come again. This time, Skye gets the first shot. We're at 8.5 mile shot. We're at average angels of 6 and 9 is 7.5. So it's a slightly ambitious shot there. I would say, what would I say? I'd say that's about 8, maybe. I'd say about 8 to 8.5 miles, maybe 8 miles. It's slightly ambitious. They are very long range missiles, these flanker missiles, so it might, it might work. This guy's probably out of missiles by now, this F-15, and he's slow. Look, he's scrubbed all of his speed down. He is now sitting duck. Speed is life in combat. As soon as you're out of speed, you're a dead man, as we experienced with those ESF guys. So he stalled himself. He stalled himself out. He's a sitting duck now. Skye can just pummel missiles into him at will. That's fine. Skye had an easy run there on that one, but he did the job. And how did he get an easy run? He got an easy run because he was flying properly, because he was doing these nice big 10-mile backwards and forwards. If you fly properly, you will get opportunities, same as Cap. Big 10 miles, back 10 miles in, 10 miles out. Every time I got a perfect firing opportunity, because I'm not fucking around flying in circles in the middle. I'm going out and I'm going in. How many times do I have to explain it? Good work, Skye. Right, does Skye do anything else? I don't know. I'm just going to scroll forward and have a look. No, that's the end of Skye. He just goes home and RTB's there. Right, one more flight to look at, and that is the Blade. Stand by. Right, so we've got Blade here. 2 Mirages with a good experienced leader, that is Zoidberg, and tail in a flanker. The first thing is stuff that I don't like. There are Angels 8, about Angels 4 above the ground. I don't know why they're so low and why they're so slow. 500. I mean, that Mirage is just as fast as an F-15, but they're going 500 knots into combat. Bad, bad, bad. Let's look over here so we can get one of these. Yeah, 10 to 700 knots. So you got these guys 500 knots. Anvil, we're at 700 knots. We're flying properly. I don't think these guys are going fast enough. I think they're going to pay for it, but we'll see. Can't fly into combat and save fuel at the same time. It's not doable. Tail's getting even slower now. He's going to get himself shot. And these guys are very lucky that their hostiles all decided to go for the Seed. The Seed were the saviour and the heroes of the day, really. They saved these guys from getting killed. And if these guys got killed, the F-15s would have got swamped. So they're very, very lucky. Again, 500 knots. 400 knots from tail? Bad. You can't fly like that. On the plus side, he has saved ESF by posturing an F-16 away. Zoidberg gets lucky. This guy is going for the Seed. Again, tail, you've got to learn. You've got to fly at 700 knots. You can't go in at 400 knots. Zoidberg, just an easy belly shot. Obviously, the F-16 was going for Sherman. It's nice. Tail and Kilo Mike are hopefully going to dispatch this guy. Zoidberg heading out. Got more missiles out. Let's have a look at that. That is 8 miles. No, that's no good. If you're trailing someone down on the deck like this, it's really 4.5 miles max, even with these big super long ER missiles. So, still too slow. I don't get it. Just flying around, desperately trying to save fuel. These aren't great at fuel, these flankers, but they've got a good 10 minutes of afterburn in them, so I don't know what they're doing. Kilomite's heading back. I don't know if there's any organisation here. I'm not convinced there is, but we'll see. This guy, again, luckily, killing the Seed, not killing these guys. Tail's chasing this guy down, but he's not going fast enough. And he's going to get himself in trouble. So, yeah, Tail's got himself in a nice case of target fixation. He's chasing this guy. He's never going to catch him. He should know that his flanker is never going to catch that Falcon. It's completely pointless, and he's going to get himself shot, which I think is about to happen. I've got a 9-mile shot. It's very easy to dodge for Tail. Tail should be dodging a 9-mile shot when he's on the deck. He's not going to do it. Yes, he is, but is it too late? 7G. I want to see 9G Tail, not 7G. I don't know if it's enough. Only 500 knots. It's a bit weak. 500 knots and 7G is a bit weak. It was enough in this case. And it was good in the situation of the terrain. Next time, I want to see more. And luckily, the F-15's left him alone. He's found something else to kill, so... Okay. Good disengagement overall there. Kilo's on the cover. Kilo Mike's just not really... I just don't think he's very good. He just... Look, there's a guy right there. He should be right on his radar. Whopping great guy. He's not going to see him, is he? No, doesn't see him. Luckily, the F-15 has decided to go for the soft underbelly that is the ESF guys, so he's off over there. Don't think there's any more fighting. We'll go back to just have a look at Zoidberg in a second. Ah. Right, Kilo Mike is trading blows now. Right, so we've got Kilo Mike versus an F-16, both Angels 9 above sea level. 700 knot F-16, 600 knot Mirage. Got a 9-mile shot. That is too far. It's tough on that. What is it? Name 120 Bravo. It's about an 8.5-mile shot, or maybe an 8-mile shot. So it's just tiny bit out of parameters. Mike can beat this as long as he does his good, proper evasive maneuvers. He'll beat this. Got a missile out. I never really see any point of firing these missiles because he knows he's got to dodge. He's getting this warning. He knows he's got to dodge. And if he dodges, this missile will lose track. So it's just a waste of a missile. Oh dear. Awful, awful, awful. He's not turning around. He's not listening to Cap. Oh, just. Bloody hell. I mean, it really, really made a meal of that. Simple. Hostile fires at you. Turn round. Just turn round. You don't have to put that missile out. Just turn round. You don't have to fly all this crap he's doing here. Just... He's lucky to survive that. Turn round. Call your overlap in, which is tail. There should have been a 9G pull out here, and that missile should have got nowhere near him. Anyway, that's enough of that. Right, tail is on the overlap. So... Come on, tail, let's see something good. Again, flying 400 knots. You can't do that. Cannot fly at 400 knots. Missile at 400 knots, you're not helping your missile at all. It's a 7-mile shot on a weird flanking target. Very possibly a kill because that F-16 is stalling himself. Come on, let's get a kill here. We need a kill. No, miss. Oh, for fuck's sake, tail, really? Flew straight into a bloody missile. So this guy, after killing ESF, has popped a 9-mile missile. That should not... no, it's outside, just outside kill parameters and should be an easy dodge for tail. Big warnings all over the place. You're getting shot, you're getting shot. Turn away, you're getting shot. Don't fly around at 400 knots doing nothing. Oh... God, it's so frustrating. Well, there you go. Maybe his roll angle was putting him out. No, his roll angle was good. He was just ignoring the fucking missile. Okay, I'm going to get too angry if I follow that anymore. Kilo Mike, what does he get up to? That's more like it. That's a better dodge. Don't take any risks. Turn around. Does the job. And then gets out of combat. Hang on, try to follow this guy. Oh dear. What the fuck? Okay, so it's heading back later on. Missile, 10mm missile, easy to dodge. should never kill him. Just fly straight into it. Straight into it. Unfucking-leavable. Oh, I get so angry. I'm going to have to stop doing these debriefs. Oh, he decides to turn then. Right, well, that's going to help, isn't it? Dead, obviously. Fucking pointless. Right. Zoidberg. He's good. Let's fight Zoidberg. Okay, Zoidberg. Easy kill on this F-16. He's going for the seed guys. Seen it already. Scroll forward. Kill and turn out. 600 knots. Acceptable. I don't like how he turns back into combat. It should be out. 10 miles out. 10 miles back in. Spinning around in circles never works. Back in. It's hunting for a new target. Okay, he's getting his chainsaw back on with his buddies. At least it's got... No, it's turned away. I think these guys, they're not... There's no team, there's no group cohesion here. They're just flying in random directions. It's just having a bit of a spruce around. Okay, found someone. This is more like it. Got some actual fighting going on. Right, let's have a look. We are lovely juicy F-16 up high, conning. Angels 26, slow. Very good. Zoidberg's a little bit slow for my liking, but... I miss that. We have an AMRAAM out from the F-16 on probably Zoidberg. Awful shot. Look at the angle it's coming off the rail at. It's going to have to do all that work. 6 miles, well within kill shot range here. Get a missile out. So we've got to be careful. This AIM-120 is coming in. Zoidberg was rather lucky there, I must say. That AIM-120 didn't track. And a kill. Okay. That's a kill. Good job. And anything else? Sees an RT being F-15. I think the F-15 is probably Winchester, hence why he's not fighting. So it's just going to be an easy kill. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. Missile out, please. Waiting until it's got a decent aspect. And dead. Very nice. And another one. Finish him off. Come on. And we're done. Right, the CSF done. That is Blade done. That's Anvil done. A couple of good things. Skay was, doing some good fighting. Zoidberg, it was a bit wiggly, but he did get some nice kills. So I can't take that away from him. The rest, pretty terrible, to be honest. No excuse for any of that. Right. Guys who didn't do very well, be embarrassed. Learn to what I'm saying. Don't be stubborn and weird. Just learn and come back and do what I say next time. We won't have this again. Easy, easy, easy. Right. Next we have the ground guys. So we're going to scroll forward and do the ground guys. So we all RTB, the survivors RTB, as you can see, and we're going to go out again as a consolidated cap unit. And we're off again. There's our consolidated cap unit. We've all fallen under the control of Anvil. That's cap. Out we go. We're heading towards the target. There's no... we don't know that there's no Hornets left. We think there's probably are Hornets left. Hence why we send cap cover out. We didn't realise that we had actually killed them all. So, we've got that. The Vegans are going along here. They're going to come in from the coast. I didn't understand this because it's going to leave them open to the ship fire here. But whatever. It's their flight. A-10s here. A-10s are coming to do the actual damage shortly. The main problem is the SA-6s are still up. You can see here. Can't remember how to put them on, so I'm not going to put them on. There we go. Those whopping great cones there are the SA-6 cones, so we've got to take them down. So, our tactic, as agreed, was we would get our guys here, that's Cap and Cap slot. Anvil, we're going to fly in this semicircle here and attract the radar just outside the semicircle, attract the radars of the SA-6, so that allows the Vegans to come and do some seed work, hunting them, and the radars of these SA-6s are busy on us. And it worked very well. So you can see our mission is to just stay in this kind of, just on the edge of this danger area. So they might fire missiles at us, but we can dodge them pretty easily. Got missiles going out there, you see, but they're so far away we can dodge them. And I don't want to see anyone going any closer than kind of 12 miles, something like that. So you can see a good front line keeping here. And I'm disciplining it. Every time I see them going too far, I'll discipline them. And we can keep well here. Cap's at a more sensible range. More missiles are going out. Discipline the boy. Get him out. A10s are coming in. Direct route. Here comes aspect 1 of Vigan flight. And stop. Let's go and have a look. So they're in hunting. So these radars, these SS6s are busy looking at nice big juicy targets up here. They haven't got time to look at these kind of small disappearing low fast targets of the Vigans. So that's good teamwork, good tactics. They're in, so they're just in here to get sighting runs and try and find the SA6s because no one knows where they actually are. Because the real sea guys are Sea Sparrows being fired. So we've got Sea Sparrows being fired. These Vigans are fast and they are low, and they can dodge these Sea Sparrows. So that's nice. Speed that up. Vigans ingressing again. You can see them using the mountain cover to hide from those SA6s. In again. Another sighting pass. More Sea Sparrows out. In again. Signing pass. Sea Sparrows out. Nice, repetitive, good, reliable flying here. All this time, we've also got the A10s using their TGP, using their optics, are actually finding the SA6s for the Vigans. So, and guiding the Vigans on. That's what's actually going on here. We in for a kill yet? No, not yet. Just roll that forward. No sea. Yep, Sea Sparrows. Scrubbing them off. As long as they turn away in time, there's no real danger. Sea Sparrows out. Static. Static's a little bit dodgy here. Should be further inside. Inland. Boys are back. Are we going to get a shot? AAA. Very dangerous AAA on this target. And it's a shot. And the radar dish is down. Excellent vigging. Flawless vigging work. Stack is in trouble. No, she's okay. The Sea Sparrows are just out of range. Look. More Sparrows out. Static is in. That's probably the worst bombing I've ever seen. Static is about 2 miles away from the target. I don't know how you do that when you've flown this aeroplane so much. Even I can drop bombs. Right, never mind. It happened. Let's not dwell on that or I'm going to send my blood pressure up again. Trash. Let's see how you've dropped bombs. Perfect. On target. Multiple. Look at all that kills. Well done, Trash. Beautiful. Could have done twice as much damage if Static had bombed it. Right. Blood's got himself shot, so he's flying home. I think he actually dies in the mountains somewhere. More Sea Sparrows out. Careful, P-Man. P-Man's now got to look for this other SA6 site. Sees the SA6 site. Heads out. Heads in. Missiles away. Boom. All this time, remember, we're still attracting the radar, so it can't shoot P-Man down. In again. That's the radar down. Bosh. Well done. And next, it's just the slaughter, essentially, of the base. It's just lots of ground attack that you've seen. Cap dies here. I do a real stupid thing. After all that perfect fighting, I go in and try and shoot it with my guns, which is a really stupid idea because their guns, their anti-aircraft guns, are better than my gun, and I get shot down. Cadron also gets shot. He was stupid as well. He loses his tail, but he's lucky he survives. Zoidberg is more sensible. And the A10s do a good job as far as I can remember. And that's it. So, enormous mission. And it's a very difficult mission as well. It's, you know, it's not really an easy mission, this one. Stuff went wrong. Stuff went right. Some good flying. I mean, the ground attack, perfect flying. I've got no the ground guys, A10s, Vigans, I've got no criticism at all. Cap, most of it was pretty shit, to be honest. And a lot of it deserved to get shot down. Some of it was very good. And I think 2 or 3 guys there did pretty much all of the killing in the Cap. The rest were just dying. But we got the mission done. So at least I've got that. Right, I'm going to go and calm down now because I got very angry. Thank you very much for watching. I'll make sure my guys buckle their ideas up. And we'll see you later.